right, guys.
Welcome to the Deer Shot Podcast, presented by Siman Brothers Outdoors and the Leaky John Boat Company. Your track job was the first fun track job.
Oh, that was the best.
That kind of like, I think part of my life was influeed by that night.
Looking back on it, my biggest regret was opening day. I knew where it needed to be. I should have just done a simple hanging bank off the corner of that field, and he would have been toast. But I didn't.
That was our first public land deer hunting trip, and it went extremely well.
5 years ago, we couldn't shoot a deer at 100 yards with a slug gun. Now you're shooting turkeys at 100 yards with a shotgun.
It was a 90-yard shot.
Pass through.
And then you miss him 3 times with a rifle at 70 yards on video for the whole world to see.
Yeah, that's what Caleb did.
This is the first buck I've shot in over 10 years. And, not to get too crazy emotional about it, but like
10 years, no buck. All right, guys. Deer Shot Podcast, episode 52. This is the 1-year anniversary of the podcast. Today's subject is the 1-year anniversary. We're going to talk about a little bit what we're up to right now. And then we're going to get into some of our childhood memories when it comes to hunting, the outdoors, fishing, all that kind of stuff. We've kind of been requested by the audience, actually, to kind of do a little talk about stuff of that nature. And today is just a perfect time to kind of get into there. We got some real good stories we can tell. And I can't wait to kind of go over like this last year of podcasting and everything that's kind of gone down. We're joined by AAA in the studio today, me and Ethan hosting. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review, hit the stars. Any of the reasons or ways that you watch this podcast, leave us some intel. I don't care if it's negative. I'll just banter back with you on there. It's perfectly
And we'll
fine.
put it on the next roast episode.
Yeah, and he won't stop.
Yeah, we did what, 15 years worth of roast comments last
Yeah.
one, so we got a couple years before we'll be able to have enough comments to.
There was probably a lot more than what you guys went over.
Well, I can break it down by every comment we ever had and just scroll through them fast, and that's those are all the ones I found that were negative.
And then the Facebook comments.
So I didn't really get into the Facebook comments, and there was also a comment that was made to me in person one time that I forgot to bring up. It wasn't really in person. I think it was on one of our group chats, but I remember Mark one time when we were fighting about something in one of the chats. He said something along the lines of like, "You only make videos that your mom watches," or something like that.
Couch dwelling Tyler Gullett made the same comment.
Yeah.
You guys just sit around and watch yourself on YouTube. Yeah, that's exactly what we do.
Has Mark been on the podcast yet?
No.
We've never had him in here to be on
No,
the
we don't have
podcast.
a wide enough lens for his head.
There's a picture
mean.
of him back here somewhere behind me. There's a picture of him. Hey, I need that. I was kind of looking for that. There's my first turkey.
Yeah.
It kind of goes along with some of the stuff we're going to talk about today.
It was mean.
So, when it comes to the podcast, 52 episodes. This is number 52. We're one off of what we should be. We've talked about it multiple times. There was a week we missed and did not have a podcast. October.
Yeah, we're slacking.
It was October 18th. We had a podcast night scheduled. Tyler wounded a buck that night.
Yeah.
Tracked it in the rain till fucking midnight. Called a dog in the next day. Big long charade. Ended up not getting a podcast that week. It was right in the meat and potatoes of our deer hunting. So
Yeah,
it's
everybody
kinda
was
tough.
busy.
So there was a week missed. Isaac says he wants us to start a
Mini-sode for the
yeah,
podcast.
like during hunting season, he wants us to start releasing podcasts on like a nightly basis. Technically, we would release them in the morning. Basically, like an after hunt recap, come in the studio. Well, he actually wants us to record it in our vehicles on the drive home or whatever.
Like, I walk from this.
Which,
damn
yeah, I think I'd rather just come in the studio for 15 minutes, crack one beer, recap the hunt. Audio
Yeah, for
only.
you guys, but I mean, I'd have
But
to
you could
record it.
drive.
I guess I'd be
You're on the way. Like if you
Technically
leave in your
driving
main
home.
hunting ground, you're driving past here.
true. Either one of them.
But yeah, he wants to start, and it doesn't have to be like an every night thing. But he's kind of spitballing on some ideas to get a little bit more content out than just a weekly podcast. And I'm not opposed to it.
No.
I don't like the idea of recording one driving home and then messing with it on the computer and then uploading it. I would rather do one here in the studio, take the audio. We don't have to film them all per se, but if we're gonna be in the studio, I'm gonna say why not just film them anyways. But
Right.
yeah, that's something we might work on come deer season. We'll see. We'll see how
We'd
many
almost
legs
have to have just something set up all the time.
Yeah, and we technically do. I mean,
Yeah.
we got some mounts on the wall that are kind of permanent, and we could keep a camera on those walls.
Or maybe like just have the stuff
But it
set
does
up
get
in a
cold
different
here in
room.
winter time. It's not always heated.
Yeah.
Problem.
Yeah, we'll see how the temperatures go.
Well, you'd be dressed for it.
Yeah, I mean, we could pop that new heater. So there's a new heater behind the camera there. We could pop that new heater on, no problem, warm this place up, do a nightly podcast. It all depends on, I guess, on how we're feeling, but we'll see if we're going to do something like that. Or maybe not nightly, maybe every 2 or 3 days, give a little.
We also have a lot of hunts where nothing happens either.
Yeah, yeah. But if there's 2, 3, 4 of us hunting every night or filming each other around the county, someone's going to have some kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
I would hope.
True.
But yeah, the podcast has done well. So the last 4 or 5 weeks, we had our deer series, the country deer, city deer, public deer series, and then the roast and the reaction. And then the ladies in the studio was last week. Those last 5 weeks, we've had, it's 5 of our 10 most listened to releases of the year. So it's kind of hard to explain that. They're not the most listened to episodes yet, but the first day view, so that Monday that the podcast goes live, the last 5 weeks have been in our top 10. And there's weeks 2.
So it's a growing audience.
Oh yeah, weeks 1 and 2 were in there too. So we've had an incredible amount of people listening lately, which is great. It's kind of weird how the YouTube metrics spike in June, and it seems like the podcast metrics spike in June. Well, it's been 5 weeks, Ethan. We're in July now, but it was June when it started.
Yeah, whatever.
I was saying for YouTube.
Yeah, but we've charted. We're not currently on the charts right now, but we charted a couple weeks ago. We charted when we were in the meat and potatoes of our podcast last year, which would be December and January. So our gun season's deer camp, and then like our late season hunting. We were charted for a couple weeks then. It'd be cool to stay on the charts, but that takes a lot of work in a weekly, very interesting episode,
And we're not that interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
we're
right.
Not,
sometimes we're
Depends on who you
interesting,
ask.
sometimes we're not. But we do appreciate the people that listen every week, especially on the Monday morning listeners on the Apple podcast. We very much appreciate that.
Yeah, I'd like to take some cameras down to muzzleloader camp. It's
Yeah, we
a little
got
different down there. It's fun. We got a little bit of public land and private land, and they're right next to each other. And we do this huge drive. God's Country's Drive is what we call it. And
I like
we start on public land, and you just walk forever and go down this huge hill. Then you get into the private land that these people have a lease on. It's like, I don't know how many acres of public land is, but they have 350 acres of the lease. So
it's a lot.
yeah, you walk like a mile and a half back to it. Last year, me and Derek showed up late, and they're already starting the drive. And they had standers, and we're going to be a stander. So we get there, and we see a couple people standing, and they're like flagging us, keep going, keep going. We get up there. I've put Derek in an easy spot because it's Derek. And he doesn't have a scope or anything, and we're just watching this hillside where the deer are coming down. I get to my spot, I'm looking around, I'm like, oh, I'll go up on this hillside and watch the other side. I get up there, turn around, and there's deer right in front of me. It was downpouring rain and muzzleloader last year.
Sounds terrible.
I remember
It was terrible.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, crap. So I pull up, fire, nothing happens. Redo my bolt.
We're using this gun?
No, I would have killed him if I was. And shoot again, and it's just a hang fire. Just it was shot right over their back or something. I don't know. It wasn't even close. They took off. I'm like,
I was too scared to hunt out of the tree stand during muzzle season. It was
there
so
was
windy.
Right. There was a time I did the same. Late last season, and I don't think it was during muzzler, but it was right around that time frame. I had my bow. I'm like, and I just sat underneath the tree stand because we were hunting that 10 point.
Yeah.
Had to do something, but
all right.
But yeah, we have enough cameras now. We have at least 2 or 3 extra GoPros that we'll give out to anybody. You just got to have, and you do have the little technical camera knowledge. Problem with some of our old GoPros is the batteries are starting to like freeze up and stuff. So
Yeah, I need to just buy one. I got that old DJI Osmo Plus.
Well, Luke still runs. I think Luke's still
I
running.
don't know.
He's got a couple of them.
Something 3.
Yeah, he's
too.
a little bit newer. I bought mine.
He doesn't like GoPros. He likes the Osmos.
My GoPro sometimes is a big pain in my ass. So
It's
not.
mine.
I understand its pain. We have Gore's GoPro here somewhere too. That's got to be in your office. He doesn't have it.
Yeah, it has to be in the office.
Yeah,
then.
So we're still getting, and I have it written down here, we're still getting almost 4 times as many views on YouTube than we are the streaming services, which is fine by me. It doesn't matter either way, but YouTube is still the popular version to kind of watch or listen to the podcast. So the filming is working out for that.
It's because they like seeing our beautiful faces.
I don't know if it's that.
Obviously.
I
I think it's that. The only thing that
I
makes
mean,
sense.
if you guys had beards, you'd be a lot better looking. But
Physically,
we
not
will
allowed to have
never
them.
have beards unless
Ever.
it's deer season. Because I'm working on my schedule. So a little bit technical information here. We had a guy on my shift at work who had like 9 days off in October. Took a bureau spot, so his spots are up for lottery. All those October slots are up for lottery. So
No
I'm
one
working
wants
on getting
October.
all of October. So I have all of October, all of November, and half of December off. Hopefully this fall.
sounds
So
terrible.
we'll have
I have a
lot-
good schedule up until mid-October, and then I go to paramedic school.
How many days a week is that going to be?
Medic school?
Yeah.
3. I mean, I'm working 40 hours.
So doing what you were doing?
Yeah.
That's not going to be too bad.
No, but
And then
an hour
weekends
drive
off?
home. Yeah.
That's good. So you'll be able to hunt Saturday, Sunday.
Hmm.
That's good. That's real good.
Well, there's more action.
More people in the woods pushing stuff around.
Yeah, I feel that way. At least my
Well, by
one
you,
main
at least
spot.
by by your spot.
But it also doesn't seem to bother them. Like that one day, I'd send a snap to the group, and Nick's like, "I can hear that same 4-wheeler." I'm like, "Yeah, they're just doing donuts in the woods right next to me." He's like, "Yeah, I can hear it," and I had like 20 deer around me, and this
Yeah.
came out of the woods where that 4-wheeler was.
And they're so used to it, they don't care.
Yeah.
It's like gunshots.
It's so during turkey season here when the leaves are off the trees and like we're all out hunting together and like Nick will be out, we'll be out wherever. Like those gunshots carry so far. Like I'll hear a gunshot and Nick will hear it too, and we're 3.5 miles away, and the gunshot itself could be wherever. Those shots carry when there's no leaves on the trees.
Right.
I got some news for you. I don't know if you've seen it or not in any of the group chats, but obviously you remember that big 8-point that showed up on your cameras
Yeah.
last year with the crazy brow tines and all that shit. I've filmed him twice already this summer.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So he's alive, but he's not. He's a little bit far behind. Like his frame is big, just as big as it was last year, if not maybe bigger. But he's behind. He's not even branching out past his beams yet. So he's got brow tines and beams right now.
Still by his last seen location of last year on
He's
trail
not by.
camera.
He's not by you. I'll put it that way.
No,
but-
he wasn't by me for all season. He was there for like 2 days.
And speaking of that same type of situation, we've filmed Megatron already once this year too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
He's big.
And he's not anywhere near where we're at right now, not anywhere near where I can hunt him at the moment. But he's big. He's bigger than he was last year.
And
He's actually significantly bigger than he was last year. Still has a goofy side, and he's still limping with a stiff leg. In the video, he's limping around with that stiff leg. So definitely him, which is real. I mean, I'm happy that it's him. I mean, I don't know how many opportunities I'm going to have at him, considering he was only on the farm twice last year, 2 days total, but kind of like your situation. But if you're in the tree stand at the right time, he's going to be a stud. He's actually in the new intro that we played, that I made. Actually, I'll show you. We can play it in the background.
I filmed a deer yesterday with a broken hip. His back hip is sticking out of socket. You could see it like almost poking through its skin.
Is it a deer that we
No,
not close to that location?
no.
That's him right there.
Jeez.
Yeah, right. Yeah, still limping around.
Son of a.
Speaking of that deer that's on the screen right now, the 10s are still missing. The 2 10s we had during the rut and then late season last year, they're just no sign of them yet. Maybe Ethan got some velvet footage. We're not quite sure. It was too early to tell.
Of the
but-
south side, I think that's him.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but
And now
The north side,
Me and
they're-
Luke are
they're
going to
gone.
have some competition too.
Yeah, you guys are.
I could almost see his house from my one
You
stand.
could probably see his stand from your stand. There.
Yeah.
I mean it's not that close. But
It's close.
It's-
It's a lot closer.
can you see it past like the
If there
far?
was no leaves on and we had lights, we could probably see each other.
I guess you are on the. So now that I'm thinking about it,
Yeah,
If I
it's
went
far.
up
You,
and the,
you don't think about it until you look at the map. You're like, holy shit, it's like 180
the
yards.
one stand I could.
Is it really
the other
180
stand-
yards?
It's pretty close.
I don't know if it's that. No, it's not that close, but it is close.
Did you see any Wild Time TV shorts?
No.
So they had a short. Joey put a short on the other day, and it was a velvet video that Gavin took of that buck that was found in the river.
Fake news.
Oh, really?
But they never said anything. Like last year, there was no mention of the fact that they were filming this 170-inch buck, obviously somewhere close to us if he was found floating in that river.
Right.
But now that he's dead, he makes their reels. So speaking of the intro, we were just kind of talking about with season 2 starting. We are, if you watch it on YouTube, and if you are listening. Actually, everyone listening and watching, there's a new intro. Same song, different audio clips. If it's on YouTube, it's different video clips. kind of just modernized it and gave it a good feel, and included a lot of stuff from last year, the Deer Camp Chronicles and stuff in the intro. I tried to cover deer hunting, bow hunting, bow hunting and gun hunting, our deer camps. I tried to cover turkey hunting, trout fishing, western hunting, shed hunting, all the stuff we do. Shark fishing was in there. Our shark, you were in there. When we caught the shark.
It's 400 yards.
400 yards. 400. Really? I guess far. I never thought about that. Yeah, you and Luke, 400 yards apart. He's hunting 5 acres. You're hunting 5 acres of woods.
Diaper party about it.
There's a good deer in that area already.
Yeah.
They filmed one in between you guys.
Synced it.
Yeah.
Good 10-point. Good 10-point. I'll have to ask you if you had the certain buck on camera when we're done with the podcast today.
If it's over in that area, I have no cameras running.
I mean, last year.
Oh.
I'm curious about last year. I'm curious if Bird's Nest 2 is what I'm going to call him.
Yeah.
The one that looks like Bird's Nest, but he had G4s.
He was bigger.
Yeah, and he had G4s. Like he came through once or twice. And then did you get some pictures from the neighbor? Did he send you pictures?
I think he gave my dad some pictures. Or showed him, but
because I got deer on my phone, and people are gonna laugh. They're watching. I got deer on my phone from last year, like pictures. They're not mine. They're pictures that either sent to me, given to me, shown to me, whatever. And I'm always afraid to show people or ask because I don't know who they took it from or who they got it from or whose secret it was. Because there's a bunch of deer on my phone, and I'm not exactly sure who they are. But
yeah.
If you're watching this on YouTube or listening on Sunday night, our kill shot compilation video went live. So it's on. If you're listening right now, it's live on the channel. Hopefully it's doing well. I spent today kind of editing it between Blair naps. We have a total on the video, and I still think there's 2 or 3 that I forgot about, missed, lost the footage of, here and there, random shots. On the video, there's 70 total shots on animals. Just deer, actually. 70 total shots on deer. I had the turkey shots in there at the end, but on deer, there's 70 shots, 51 kills.
I got 0.2 mile.
Is that the same property?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll look.
70, you said?
70 kill shots on video since we've started.
Really?
Or 70 shots at animals. Let me rephrase that. 70 times we shot at deer while filming, gun and bow. 51 of those shots were kills. 19 were either not recovered or wounded. Isaac has the most at 14, 2 of them being Western hunting. So boo, doesn't count.
That makes sense.
I'm in second with 13. Luke has 9. Ethan has 5. Matt has 4. And then there was a bunch with 1. Like Dylan has 2. Nick has 2.
Yeah, 400.
Freeman had 1. I was going to break it down by bow and gun, but I didn't have a chance.
Freeman's one you can't even see. Right?
No, but you can hear it.
Yeah.
You can see the deer and hear the shot. No lighted knock. Pretty dark out, but I think that's not too terribly bad. And that goes all the way back to 2009. So that's when we were young, too.
So I think I've killed 2 deer not on film. Ever.
I've killed a bunch, but that was before we were really doing our filming thing. But 51 out of 70, all things considered, not bad, I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to be. Everyone would love to be 100%.
That's 66%. I think that's pretty average.
I
If you don't think that's average, what's your percentage? Because we'd like to know.
There was a thread I saw online somewhere. It was like on Mobile Hunters or one of the Facebook groups where people were like, "What's your lifetime, shot to kill ratio?" And like some guys were like,
I never
20 of 20, yeah, like 41 of 41. I'm like, I don't even remember all the times I shot at a deer.
I used to call myself the one-shot wonder for a long time. Then there was one deer that haunts me in Coshocton. It was, I don't remember what happened. I just rushed a shot, gut shot it. Then it went and laid down, and I was up in the climber, and the other guy we were hunting with comes up the four-wheeler trail like 10 yards away from him. I'm like, whoa, stop. Then the deer comes runs right underneath me. I'm aiming down and just shoot straight down, right on top of its head. Just blast its head. Like, just trying to put it out of its misery because I knew it was a bad shot when I hit it. Mm-hmm. So that was like the one real bad shot I've ever had.
My first deer was a bad shot.
What was that?
It was in the corner stand down the road. I spined it, and then I tried to kill it again, and I shot it, and I shot its jaw off.
I mean, we did some deer drives when we were like in high school. I remember they were like Just real.
I hate deer drives.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them.
You just said your favorite thing is this great deer drive.
Well, that is fun,
I think
but I don't take risky shots.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Just
try to
feels
shoot a
dirty.
deer on the run with a muzzleloader.
I mean, when we were like kids.
I have, and you know what happened? I missed.
Yeah, it feels dirty, is what it feels.
Yeah,
It's like you're doing something wrong, even though it's legal. It feels wrong.
Yeah, I like taking a sure shot.
I just like the art of deer hunting. Like I like being in the stand. I like listening. I like watching.
Yeah,
Deer drives
so
is like
when it comes to the deer drives, to me, that's a camaraderie. Like it's gun season. Other people are doing it, so we might as well do it. Let's get together, have fun. Like there's different. I'm not doing it to kill a giant buck. You know what I mean? That's not what we're going into.
At the same time, if the deer are just laying down, I'm like, you can't shoot them if they're just laying there and they're not coming to you. If you go to them, they're going to run before you get a shot. If you go
Especially when we start doing them on Saturday and Sunday at gun season.
Right.
They've been pressured all week. You can go, and we've done it. We've gone sat in the woods on those days, and it's just 4 hours of nothing.
oh yeah,
And then you're like, God damn, that was a waste of time.
every time.
I mean, I have some shots that I regret. They're like none of. I have one miss of hook on video, and then the one where I hit him good, it wasn't on video. I wish I could get that shot back. Just 3 inches lower would have changed the trajectory of everything. But it is what it is.
yeah.
But it's a pretty cool video. I think you guys will like it. I put everything to music, and
How long is it?
it's like 4.5 minutes. So there's 70 shots at deer. I might be able to find 1 or 2 more before it publishes. So 70 plus shots on deer, gun and bow, and then there's like 8 turkey kills on there.
Yeah,
I didn't put anything else on there like our pheasants and
I dropped the ball this year on Anthony's first
Well, you
year
were-
actually hunting.
You were excited, obviously.
Oh,
That would have been a sweet video. That would have been sweet.
Yeah, it would have been a lot of shaking.
What is deer score?
140.
Yeah, 140.
It was like 139 and
So bigger than your biggest buck.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it.
Hell yeah.
Some bitch.
Some bitch.
First deer ever. Then he shot a button buck. I had it on my phone camera, but it sucks.
Yeah, the phone's just
Especially the androids.
yeah, stupid Android.
Yeah, it's good. Could be better.
So 52 episodes of the podcast, 28 total appearances by people. I led the way with 47 out of 52. Isaac was on 37, Ethan 23, Luke and Dylan each made 9. Alex, this is your 6th. I included today. Alex, this is your 6th. Your brother Ryan had 6, Uncle Jay with 5, Spanny, Gore, Schlau, Gavin 4 times, Drake 3, Born Again Matt, Big Chris twice, and then all the one-shot wonders. So your dad, Big Anthony, Sammy Stevens, Bobby Kennedy, Kasich once, Joey P once, Justin Czar once, Aaron Olson, Chris Toth, Bethan Kendall, Jacob Emery, Jason Salzner, and then Nico Hadges. We're all one-hitters. So some of those guys are going to be on again for sure.
Yeah.
I know Nico wants to come back on. Chris Toth wants to come back on before deer season. Aaron Olson will keep bothering him till he comes back on.
Is that the Nico from Litchfield?
No, he's
Different Nico.
Well, I don't know. He's not from Litchfield. He's from like Penn or where Uncle Tom lives. What's
So
it?
there's
Huntington.
Nico.
He's from Huntington.
His dad's the one that shot the Chatham Moose or whatever it was. Remember it was
Chatham Elk.
Chatham Elk.
I don't think that is the
Not
same
him.
Nico. No. They do kill some huge deer. He's the one that he was on our podcast. He's the one that has the outfitting service
Gotcha.
over in Lorain County.
Oh, okay.
So
No, not the same one.
they don't do any hunting according to him in Medina County. So it
No.
wasn't him at all. But yeah, some of those guys will be on again for sure. Big Chris has been bothering me about getting on again. I'm gonna try to get Bobby Kennedy on again. So
Man over beast.
yep, and I'm sure we'll have Born Again Matt on again sometime soonish. Talk about his farm and stuff. But it's been a lot of fun. I mean, this last year's been a lot of fun. My favorite podcasts are the ones where we get big groups together. So, the majority of our podcasts are like we're doing tonight, 2-3 people, talk about a subject, 45 minutes.
Our first big group one was a little chaotic.
Yeah, it was in there. We recorded. I was going to actually go through and talk about all the different places we recorded, but I once again ran out of time during Daddy Daycare.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
don't
get
have
anything
time
done.
for
But
that.
I was sleeping for that big one.
yeah, we went in
Yeah,
that
you were.
room, and it got heated. Of course, Isaac always points out, like he did tonight, don't get too drunk and fuck up the cameras. because the camera work was all kind of shoddy on that one. We had 2 camera angles and 2 different groups of people. And
Dylan claimed he wouldn't shoot a small public land deer, even though he
he's
did.
too
yeah, and then he
good
did.
for it.
Then he did later that year.
No, he did earlier.
Was it before that?
Did it, and then said he would never do it.
I can't
Dylan,
remember.
you're a liar.
I can't remember the times. I thought it was before
Dylan,
they went out
liar.
and shot that deer.
No, because that was before the season here,
You sure?
and that was.
I mean,
opening
I
night.
can't remember.
Yeah, it was right before
Mm-hmm.
opening night because I went to go hunt at 10, and that kid shot it that evening.
Yeah,
Sadness.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, at least I didn't keep chasing it.
yeah. A lot of that going around.
But as soon as I seen it, I'm like,
But I do like when we get the bigger groups, like 4 or 5 guys.
It's fun.
There was a whole bunch where we had 4 or 5 guys in here, like the pool shooting one, and we talked about football a lot. Like that one sticks out. You know, the ones we do when we go to deer camps and stuff, those are fun too. I'm enjoying them more and more just because I'm so busy now.
Yeah, it's
with
an avenue
everything,
to talk.
Now we get our my night out of the house of women.
Yeah.
Girl dog,
Dang
girl
it.
dog, girl daughter, wife. The squirrel outside's a girl. The mice in my basement are girls.
Peacock outside.
The peacock is a girl. I
definitely.
mean, it's just insane how many female I'm surrounded by on a daily basis. So it's nice to come out here to the shop. And
at least you only have 2 one that talks.
yeah, no,
Got
my
3 that
daughter's
talk.
already doing the and then the dog starts howling and it's just nonstop. But it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we got some big plans for next year, this upcoming year. We'll see.
Yeah, I just started
I'm
getting
so
into
excited for Kentucky. Sorry.
I just started getting into deer season mode. Did a
Your
little
brother
bit.
said the same thing. He's like, I was not in season, then I saw a deer. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm rock hard for it now.
You guys got the bet. We're on year 2 of the 5-year
I
bet.
think Freeman's winning because he has 150.
I think no. So I'm going to say that, technically Alex guided his son to $2, or technically.
Well, I got
$2.
him a buck, then I got Derek a buck,
Yeah. So
and I got Anthony a button buck. I thought it was a little.
No, I think the bet went bone in hand for yourself.
no, it does. Obviously, the bet is still total inches after 5 years, but Ryan's shooting his pool. I mean, that's got to be a negative.
He did
Yeah.
miss a decent sized buck, too.
Ryan. So we talked about this in the group chat. Ryan was talking big mad shit last year going into the season because he hunted like 3 times in 2022.
And killed a
Shot-
106.
Yeah, he shot that buck, on like his 3rd hunt. It was like, oh, if I would have hunted the whole season, I would have got a bigger one and blah, 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 blah. And I put a perfect shot on him, even though it was the wrong buck in the field.
Right.
Yeah.
The one when we walked up to it. But, I mean, he was feeling a little cocky going into the season, and then he just fucking
Well,
0 for
this year
4.
he could just use his pool as a blind. It's empty.
They never got that fixed?
No.
No,
So
I
having
haven't
a
fixed it
kid
yet.
will do those things to you, huh?
I haven't fixed it yet.
Yeah, so
I think
Ryan
he's tearing it down.
Probably.
is he? Probably. Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to.
The funny part is he's going to end up wanting another one in 5 years when his daughter's old enough to start
Oh,
doing
yeah.
stuff. He's going to want his pool back, so. But yeah, Ryan went 0 for 4 with his bow and shot his pool. So, I mean, if that's not what you get for talking shit.
Yeah.
No, he did kill one with his bow. He killed a doe.
Doe. Yeah, they both, him and Alex, both got
Yeah.
does for the bet.
Shot one on the park land.
Are you doing any of that shit this year?
I'm gonna put in for it. For sure.
I think I'm not. I think we're just not going to do it again this year.
I mean, places we hunted, there's definitely potential.
Mhm.
It just depends on which time of the year you get into it.
Yeah, and the thing is, with how I just got done telling everyone I'm gonna have the whole fall off, but I'm gonna be busy with everything. Like to add another property on top of already having mine plus Nick's, Tyler's plus Gore's, going
West
to Kentucky,
Virginia,
going to
Kentucky,
Pennsylvania, right?
Indiana.
All these
There's just too
states.
much.
Like if I would add in a public, I wouldn't do it justice to, like we've talked about before. Someone who doesn't have anywhere to hunt would appreciate it more than I would.
Right.
To be
yeah.
honest.
Well, that's
And you're
fair.
you're
That's
kind
fair.
of in that boat where you only have a couple permission pieces.
Yeah, I got another piece that I was told I can go hunt. I just got to look on the maps what they all own. And they own quite a bit, but I know there's a bunch of other people that hunt it.
That's the worst.
I wish you and Luke could get in on your the shared farm in between you guys.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice place for you and Luke to be able to get in on together.
That's not going to happen.
No, but it would be cool.
It could. never know.
All right. Well, we're 30 minutes in, so
If we went there, it would be prime turkey hunt.
I believe it. There are no turkeys here. Anywhere would be better than here.
And there's a whole empty field that they don't plant anymore.
Nesting central.
Turkeys are just forever. For when they planted it, they even loved it.
Yeah.
But so yeah, back to our
Yeah,
what we actually came here for.
Yeah, back. It's time to get into the actual topic. Alex kind of came up with the idea. We were going to do the story of his biggest buck and his brother Ryan's biggest buck they shot in the same year. It's a real cool podcast we could do. We could get the mounts in here and stuff and go over it. But Ryan's in Columbus, wedding something.
Yeah,
wedding.
He's got a bunch of weddings this year, so he was unable to make the podcast tonight. So we switched gears, and Alex had the idea of just talking about, things that we remember and childhood memories and our first times hunting in the woods and what kind of got us to where we're at now, which is a great idea. And it's like I said in our text, Michael Wellman left us a message I think it was this morning. I honestly think it was this morning.
Yeah.
And he wanted to talk about, he's like, well, a topic that you guys could cover would be, following in your dad's footsteps and, how you're hunting with the old timers and then they're not hunting anymore and that whole topic. And
We
you hit the
should get
nail
him
on the
in
head with
one time. He likes to talk, and he's hunted harder than a lot of people that I've known for a long time.
I got no issue with getting guys in here to talk deer hunting,
he
drink
likes
some
to
beer.
hunt a lot. He's put the time in for sure.
Get a hold of me, Michael, and we'll set something up. Especially during the season. It's cool to get some of those guys in while they're hunting. Oh, like I'm on this deer this year, that blah, 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 blah.
Right.
It'd be cool. But all right, Alex, it was your idea, so I'll let you go first. We'll
Yes.
kind of alternate back and forth. So
Yeah, so I mean, just growing up hunting wise, I remember starting out going into the Mecca behind my dad's house, and we'd squirrel hunt. That's where it started. A lot of squirrel hunt. Go sit on those little can seats that you had, and go sit out there and wait for a squirrel. And I
you
remember
have one of those chatterbox calls.
then I don't think so. I think we had one of the whistle ones.
Okay.
But,
We had this thing you bopped on your knee.
Yeah, I have one now.
It looks like a gobble call.
Yeah,
but
it's like
yeah.
But so that's kind of where I started with my dad, going out there, then just going out there recovering deer with him and stuff. Then I remember, so I was 9 years old when I got my hunting license. Went to the log cabin shop,
That's where you did mine.
passed it.
Yeah.
I remember I got a 94 on it, felt pretty good.
I got a 79
Blank
or an
a lot.
80, whatever's the
Some things
minimum
never
for
change.
passing.
Yeah.
Dad got 100. I took it with Dad.
So I remember back to the squirrel hunting. One time I had a 410, and there's a squirrel popped up on this log that the tree broke off. The squirrel's sitting there, blasted it. Went to go look for it, disappeared, gone. It was the craziest thing ever. And
Just missed.
no, I don't know what happened.
He missed it, and
I
the squirrel
shot.
ran off.
Squirrel went flying, and the squirrel's nowhere to be found ever.
I mean, I don't think a 410, but with those loads back then, because now
Well, this was a single shot 410. The barrel's this long,
Throwing gravel at it.
Yeah. So who knows? I just remember that.
What's your first memory hunting?
my first memory.
Yeah.
So my first memory of actual hunting is exactly what he's saying. It's the same thing. It's squirrel hunting. Dad would get us up and go in the morning, and I'd wear rubber boots and army camo that I got from Whitey's. Remember Whitey's?
Oh, yeah.
The surplus. So cold, so cold. And I have a memory where Dad has a lever action, but it's a single shot. It's a 20 gauge, but it's got a lever to break it.
Yeah.
I remember specifically we were hunting, and I think we were somewhere in the South Woods. Squirrel came out. I don't think I had a gunner. Maybe I was using a 22 and wasn't paying attention, whatever. I remember he shot at the squirrel, and it fell out of the tree, and as it was falling down, it hit a branch, and he was able to break it, put a new shot in, and then hit it again before it hit the ground. There's no way Dad can move that fast now. Not a chance.
Yeah.
But this was 20 years ago.
Right.
But my first memory that wasn't me actually hunting was when we were real little, before I was able to go hunting. So I was probably 7, 8, 9 years old. He would do basically what we do now. He'd take the week off of work, and the old guys, so Rod Grimm, Grandpa Jim. Dave Nagel was still alive back then. Ted Arders, those guys. Darren Borman for sure. And there's obviously others that I'm probably missing. Some of the Grimms and stuff.
Columbus.
Tyler or Steve Arders, Rich Columbus. Those guys would all get together, take the week off work, and they would do deer drives here in Chatham with muzzleloaders, with black powder. He had a Thompson Center Renegade. His was a Renegade model, and they would take the whole week off work. I remember Dad would go out and they'd rarely ever kill any deer. He killed a doe when I was small.
I think they would walk from the south end to the north end. Just
they could walk all of Chatham.
Yeah, they just do a whole huge
It was 3 farms back in the day.
Yeah, there was. Right. Yeah, all the farms now weren't split up like they are. But I remember what I remember about that was he'd take the week off work, and then he'd come home after dark, and then he would unload the muzzleloader outside, on the east side of the house, down into the valley. And if I was in my bedroom, I could watch from the window, and with a muzzleloader, black powder like that, you shoot it at night, it shoots flames. And I just remember watching Dad, you'd see the flames because it's, those things are like the light is first, and then you'd hear the shot in the house. And I just thought it was so cool, but I was too young to hunt then. But I remember, that's what I specifically remember.
Mine's rabbit hunting. Dad would be cutting wood up in the field lines.
Oh, yeah.
And just here's a 22, go do something. Shoot rabbits. So I'd go walk on the stick piles and see a rabbit and pink, and then pink.
Back when we had rabbits.
Yeah.
It's there's rabbits in the springtime now, but dude, I don't see fuck all for rabbits in the fall.
No.
Well, I mean, you've been hunting with me for rabbits. We don't see shit.
I haven't been hunting for rabbits in 7 years.
A few years ago, remember I was getting all those Christmas trees for a rabbit tat?
Yep. Rabbit tat.
Yeah. I see more rabbits in town where I live now than where I hunt.
So I do remember before you left for the Navy, which was 7 years ago.
I was back from the Navy for that one Christmas.
We did a big rabbit hunt.
Yeah.
A big
Jake
rabbit
Bones' house, the other farm.
Yeah, we were all around,
yeah.
And we killed at least 10.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a lot of fun. But yeah, the rabbit hunting. Did we have Tucker then?
No, I mean I was
this is before Tucker.
Way before Tucker.
Yeah, I remember shooting your first rabbit. Your dad goes up to it and kicks its head to kill it.
I remember my first woodchuck. Dad would let me take the single shot 22, the one that burned up when this house burned down. The gun burned up and the stock's all fucked. And we still have it. That thing's super accurate, but I would take that 22 and I would walk around all day, trying to kill my first woodchuck. And it took a couple weeks. And the first one I killed, I was up walking the first bean field up here, just in between the rows. And I was walking and I looked over and it was 2 feet away, looking back up at me with a mouthful of beans. 1 yard shot, first woodchuck. Nice. How many are you up to this year?
26 with the one I hit with my car last night.
That don't count.
25.
Hitting one with your car don't count. Remember when we were on the gator and we tried to run him down in the food plot the other day? Didn't even get him.
I got one this year.
I got
25.
I've got one this year as well.
I have 25. Isaac has 10 and Luke has 6.
And they're all from here.
Yeah.
I was super pissed. I was working on my truck car at my hunting spot, the dump truck, and I was sitting there messing with it. Not even 20 yards, groundhog right in front of me.
No gun, right?
And I forgot to grab it because I knew they were there. Then 10 minutes later, to my left, there's another one 60
they're
yards.
Everywhere.
And there's another one 50 yards, and there's another one 200 yards.
Did you know they can climb trees?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've shot him out of trees.
I got a lot of trail
Just so funny.
Well, if you have a dog, they'll climb up a tree right away. So, if they sense a dog, if you're up there walking around in the woods with a dog, they won't try to outrun them back to their hole. They'll go right up a tree. I've shot a couple out of trees before. Molly used to tree them for us. Yeah.
I've never seen them in person, but I got trail cameras of them.
Yep. I was at Chad's the other day, set up mineral licks for the first time, one of my faraway satellite farms, and his boys have been going out every night and shooting them. I think they've got close to 20, and he's still got spots in his beans where they're eating out surface.
So do we.
I mean, how do you kill 20 woodchucks on a farm and still have, we're up to 40 here, close to 40.
Oh, yeah.
25, 10, and 6 is 41.
Yeah.
Still, there's woodchucks around. 41.
Isaac killed one last night.
I mean, how many stay in the nest? how long do they stay in there? I don't.
I mean, they're
Never
so
really researched
when
it.
we were running them, when you almost ran them over with your side by side. This is probably about a month ago now. They were about this big. There was 3 or 4 babies about this big, and then the adults. But you would think if you're shooting all the adults out of their holes, I mean, how do they just keep replenishing? Of course, what we don't shoot around here is the wood hogs. So the ones that
the deep
actually live in the woods, the
deep-
hardest thing to kill in the world.
The deep woods.
Yeah, the deep woods hogs.
Yeah.
So they're probably doing some like recons, fucking all the other ones that are up by the fields and then going back. So like there's a breeding population of the bigger male woodchucks. They just live deep in the woods.
Wood hogs.
Yeah, 2 years
Sneaking up
ago,
on one of those is impossible.
2 years ago when I got that crossbow, I knew there was one that would be around the corner because there's so many times I walked out and he was like right around the corner. So I was like, I think he might be there. So I put a shitty arrow in there.
Bolt.
Sorry. It's still an arrow. But so I came around the corner. I was like, oh shit, there he is. I was just like, dunk, went right underneath his belly. I had to shave him. I'm like,
Yeah.
I did that
Son
last
of
year
a-
with Luke's satellite farm and Mr. Woodchuck. Walking to the stand, like, oh, missed.
There's a video I found when I was doing that kill shot compilation of someone trying to shoot a raccoon on a log, and they missed.
I think it's spaniel.
Like straight down. Spaniel. I didn't get to talk about the misses on film, but spaniel misses or wounded deer. Spaniel led the pack with that.
yeah.
yeah, that
I actually think I had more misses technically because I've been filming longer, so 16 years worth of misses. But like spaniels are right on my heels, like right on my heels.
The most misses I had for deer was with my compound. Like after I shot my big buck, I shot a couple trees, shot underneath them. Like when across from my dad's, they built that big tree house. I missed a couple from there because, you know,
It's harder
in the
to shoot
woods,
them
it
out
gets
of
dark.
Well, it's harder to shoot them out of a blind with a bow than it is a stand.
Yeah.
With a stand, you have, you can do like when you're in a blind, you gotta like watch the.
and you're almost
windows.
shooting up every time you're out of a blind, unless you're on a
Yeah.
knob, like we have
this
on the
is
north side.
in a tree house
yeah.
blind.
But still,
but-
yeah, that's hard too.
But
Speaking of
in the woods, it gets so dark so quick. You're just like, that's when they show up.
Speaking of memories, do you guys remember when your brother shot a doe with his bow and like grabbed we got all the fellas together. He's like, bring your camera. This is like a long time ago. We were like still in high school. Bring your camera over. And I brought my camera and like your dad, it was me, your dad, Ryan, Isaac. You might have been there. And we went out and found it. And it was 6 point. And we had all these, we're filming and all these guys. He's just like, God damn it. He thought it was a doe. And it was like October 2nd. And he was tagged out for the year. But that was back when we didn't really care as much as we do now. It was during the Freak Daddy days, actually. So he was a little bit mad because.
He had that running around, yeah.
Yeah, I think that rack is still hanging up in the barn at my dad's.
Yeah, it's like a little 6 or 7 point.
Yeah. I got a little 5 point. My first buck, it was after my first doe, but it was down in Coshocton. And it was probably like a 70-yard shot. It was like a little 5 or 6 point. And 20 gauge, took a climber, climbed up this tree as high as I could, and it was on a big hillside. And shot this thing, just dropped it. I'm like, yes. I hit it in the neck, not where I was aiming,
Yeah.
kind of like Nick does.
Right. Yeah, Nick was getting a little testy in the group chat the other day, talking a little bit of shit. I'm like, motherfucker, you just shot a buck in the neck. Literally cut his jugular.
You said that.
You have
I'm like,
1 year of not talking shit.
You said that. I'm like, finally, someone said it. Like, I'm gonna let him live in his glory. Sorry, Nick.
Nick
but-
lives in enough glory.
Well, like the thing
Yeah.
is, it's funny because Nick was known as Robin Hood back in high school, like in the day. He was wounding
that's
bucks
what-
and does and not
what-
recovering shit.
Grim and Ted and everyone
Yeah.
still calls him Robin Hood.
And then he redeemed himself. Once he shot Hot Wheels, from that moment on, like he went a long time with just basically every deer he shot, he recovered and, was doing real well.
Yeah, he
And then
shot some really nice deer.
He did. And then last year, he had his bow blow up on him when he drew back on a deer during the rut.
he killed a doe early season.
Yeah, killed a doe, but then
With that bow.
But then he had his bow blow up. He thinks it was his
daughters
fault.
were with him then.
Yeah,
For the doe, yeah.
Yeah.
and then he had the bow blow up. We've talked about that on the podcast a few times. And then when he shot his buck, you know, it was, well, like you said, it was dark, it was snowing. He thought he missed. It was a little bit of a farther shot that he probably should have took, but he right away in the video he's like, missed. And I'm like, man, I don't think so. It sounded pretty good. And I had the video on, but it was too dark for the video to tell. But man, I was like, I think you hit it. And he did. He ended up, it went in like right here, went out here. It cut both his arteries in his neck, and that thing sprayed blood both directions like a steam engine going down the railroad tracks. Just I mean, killed it dead. I have there's a video in the kill shot compilation that's up that I shot a button buck. Here we go. A button buck. And on accident because I thought it was a doe late season. Same thing, hit it right in the jugular. He went like 3 feet. He literally went 1 bound, hit the ground, flopped, and died like right there.
Yeah.
I mean, those shots are lethal. They're obviously not a good one to take.
No.
But
Yeah.
My first bow kill went about 25 yards. It was a little doe, and I just blew her shoulder out. She smacked the tree, rolled down the hill.
Isaac's first buck that he shot from your dad's tree stand on our farm, like way back when we were in high school.
On the south side of the south hill,
south
right?
side.
Yeah.
He shot it with his New England Firearms partner pump 12 gauge. Really good shot. And when the deer was running after the shot, he hit his antler on a tree
And broke
and
off.
it broke his skull plate off. Like the antler, it's in the house.
Yeah. It's
I've
on the
seen
new,
that in like deer and car collisions.
Dude, the antler was attached to a piece of skull about this big, and it ripped it completely. You could poke the brains.
Oh yeah.
Like it was, like that's
Nasty.
crazy.
he was just running full bore and just died.
Yeah. Your dad had that tree stand in the corner. There was a lot of good hunts out of that stand.
I think I hunted out of it once or twice.
I have a stand.
Near it.
It's like 40-ish yards from where that one was, but the stand I have now is more out in the food plot and cannot see in that valley very well. Like your dad's stand was specifically to see the valley, not out in the field.
Yeah, I think that's one I said. I've only hunted over here a couple times, and
Yeah.
I think it was out of that stand.
My first deer that I ever killed was a 6-point with my bow, hunting from the ground in the pine trees over here.
Mm-hmm.
It was like November 1st, and I had one of those like folding with the back that comes up like chairs. I remember I put it down in a pine tree, like in a clump of like, at the time they were only this tall, now they're like 30 feet, and I put a bunch of doe piss out, and I was just sitting there like this with my bow. I got out there late. I got out there like 5 o'clock. It gets dark at like 6. I'm sitting there like this, and like at 5:30, just this 6-point just comes busting through the brush and then out into the. It was like
How old were you?
16.
That was your first deer?
First deer, little green area. Isaac and Luke may have already killed deer by then, like at 10 and 9 and 12. But like I was a late bloomer, I guess, when it comes to the deer
I
killing.
probably made fun of you.
Oh, for sure. It came out, and I just took like a 20-yard shot, double lung. He died right on the path.
His best shot ever.
No, my
Oh.
I've had a couple good shots with my bow. Easy now, guy.
He's still using the same bow right now.
He is.
Nah, I upgraded. I still have that bow though, as my backup. My shot on Traveler and my shot on Massey were 2 pretty good shots with the bow.
I wasn't around. It doesn't count.
I can't help that you were in Japin.
My first deer kill was with this beauty.
If you're watching on YouTube, there's a beautiful weapon on the
It's a
table.
Thompson
It's
Center
actually pretty
Scout.
cool looking. Yeah,
No, this gun is pretty solid.
it looks like like an old 45-70 tube fed, but there's just it's a black.
There's a lot of barrel to it.
It's a 50 cal. I used ball and patch, old brass.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So
You should.
So I
Fud
remember
gun.
exactly. Yeah, I was just thinking too much.
Are you gonna try
remember-
using it this year?
No, I'm not gonna. I might get Anthony to use it though, the boy. Get him to hunt muzzleloader if he doesn't tag out first. But I remember specifically when I shot this, I was 11 years old. I had my license for 2 years. Before that, when I first started hunting, it was you can only shoot bucks.
Really? So
Yeah.
you were in the buck only times.
Yeah.
That wasn't that way for me.
Yeah, and I remember like right after I got my license, I'm like, well, if I see its nubs on his head, can I shoot it, Dad? He's like, no, it's got to have horns on it. I'm like, but I can tell it's a buck because it's got nubs on it. He's like, no.
No.
So 2 years later, I shot this doe. I came home from school. My dad wasn't home yet. I grabbed all my stuff, grabbed the gun, had it ready to go. Went out to the tree stand, climbed up there. No harnesses back then. And I was watching over like the little valley and prime spot that we all wish we could hunt now. And I'll show you what tree it was, but
How far was it from the big Mother Earth tree?
it was probably 60, 70 yards to the west of that.
Okay, so I know exactly
on
the
that tree
spot.
line.
Yep. Damn, that'd be a spot to hunt now. That
Yeah.
that one 10 point we've been trying to kill lives right there.
Yeah,
Son
and
of
the stand was facing in the woods, not in the field.
Really.
And
Remember those trails? Remember the way the trails were in there?
They're still there. Damn, it's still like that.
Like muddy cow paths.
Yeah, and that's right where they came down one of those trails, and there's like 4 of them. And I just picked the biggest one, and I remember my dad told me, he's like, if you shoot one and you think it's down, shoot a couple caps. Shoot a cap off.
So you
I
hear it,
know.
yeah.
Yeah. Because he got home like right after I went into the woods. So I shoot this thing, I see it run, and I see it fall. Like it was down in a little valley and went up the hill, flopped over. And I'm just like, pow, 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 shooting every cap I had. I'm like, pow, pow. And he came back, he's like, I heard all the caps. So like, you didn't need to shoot that many. I'm like,
I have no caps left.
I don't know what to do. We got the hide tanned, and I still got that.
That's cool.
I almost thought about bringing that in and just wearing
You
it
should
over
like
my
wear like a
back.
cape. I was telling these guys like one day when we were just spitballing ideas, like it'd be cool if our podcast got big enough one day where we could do like every intro with just us coming in, like guys pulling up, getting out of their car, like like during football games, like Joey B's all dressed up like Dapper Dan, Aaron Rodgers walking in a denim Dan suit, like
Crocs and
So
Hey Dudes would be sponsoring.
oh yeah, so like our intro would be everyone getting out of their car and walking in the shop, like have someone film like what they're wearing,
12 pack of Bush Light.
Yeah, beer cans falling out everywhere.
open the door and a bunch of shit falls out.
Yeah.
When we're in West Virginia, like bow hunting, there's no way to communicate down there besides in person, and with all the hills and shit, like no one likes, like it just sucks, like walking all the way back down to the cabin and then like, oh, so and so shot a deer up top. So like when we're bow hunting down there, we all take our pistols, and if you shoot a deer and you like need everyone to come to your stand location to help you track and stuff and drag it, you shoot your pistol in the air.
Yeah.
One shot, I think it was 2 shots is like, we had some kind of code and it's on the video. Like 1 shot is I need help, like with a deer. 2 shots was something else. I remember 3 shots was I shot a bear. Like shoot a bear, shoot 3 times because you're bow hunting, and then we each have our side pistol with us. But
Legally.
yeah, I mean I don't know, it's legal. It's whatever. There ain't no. Actually, we have had the game warden show up in our camp down there.
Really?
Yeah, they showed up one time. We're like, what the hell?
Go away.
Well, they're like, well, the guy down the guy about down, a couple roads down said someone stole his tree stands, and we're like, man, we come down here once a year, twice a
see a
year,
tree stand
and we're
in the
hunting
back?
private property. Like, people steal our shit all the time. Like, we actually haven't had things stolen down there in a while, though. So knock on wood, yeah, right. What else do you remember as kids?
I remember there's a photo around here somewhere. The big, I think it's like a 10 or 11 point on the old like film cameras.
Yeah,
And you'd always go hunting for him. And Dad had a little yellow bow. You remember that little yellow bow he had with like baler twine as a string?
Oh,
Shoot,
like a kid's bow.
Yeah.
Like a 20-pounder.
Yeah. And
Recurve.
I'm shooting in the yard, and I'm like, what if that deer just walks out? And I just never happened, obviously.
Yeah.
But I was always like fantasizing in my head, like it could happen.
I remember, and it's funny because I probably should put a camera up to like watch this, but I remember when we were younger and we'd only gun hunt, with Dad or whatever. Like in the fall when we were playing football in the yard in the evenings after school and stuff, we'd be down at Mom and Dad's there fucking around playing sports, and like right before dark, like 2 or 3 does would go running across the road into Dad's garden there, and then there'd always be like a 150-inch fucking buck chasing it, go down in the valley, and we'd run inside like, Dad, there's a big buck to this. Like, if only we realized back then what we needed to do,
What we
to actually
had.
kill that thing. Like,
Right.
but I remember that happened like more than one time, and we would go with Dad in the evenings and drive around, look for deer at night. like we do now, like the velvet filming that we do, driving around. Like Dad would take us all the time.
Did
we
you
go
guys
down by
ever
your
do
house.
any youth hunts like Mosquito Creek?
Isaac
and
did.
Isaac did with your
Salt
dad.
Fork.
Yeah, Isaac
go
did
down
with
with your dad.
Yeah, Isaac did with your
Salt
dad.
Fork, I think.
Yeah.
Because I remember.
Ryan shot a spike that one year, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember it's 1 year. So I think it was right after. I think it might have been 12 or something. So it was right after I shot that doe with this gun. We went to like Mosquito Creek or something and a big hunt down there or whatever. So I took that gun because I was like, oh, I killed a deer with this. I could shoot anything. And went down there. And we pull in the field and there's just deer everywhere. So I get out. I'm like, ah, let's go. Come on. And we get out there and the deer just run everywhere. Then we're walking the tree line. So like where our section was like on the edge of a field and woods.
Mm-hmm.
So we walked it, went out and sat out there. Nothing after we seen all those deer. Then we have this buck come flying right behind us. I'm like, I'm going to shoot him. I'm going to shoot him. My dad's like, don't shoot it. Because someone already shot it. Some other kid already shot
I
it.
was like all wounded. And shit.
Yeah, and like 10 minutes later, they came walking through. I'm like,
God damn it.
yeah, what the hell? So we went back, ate lunch, and we were about to head back out. And these deer just come flying out of the field. Like, I was standing right next to the truck. My dad's like, get ready. So, like, you know, it was wintertime. It was cold. So I had these big gloves on. So I go to pull this hammer back with these big gloves on. You know, I'm like 12. This thing, like, slips out of my glove.
Oh, it hits the cap.
Yeah, and it fires off. My dad's standing right in front of me. Oh my God, it scared the shit out of both of us. But luckily I was taught right and just
Had it down.
had it down. And I mean, he wasn't real close, but he was still in front of me. I was just like, oh, the scariest moment ever.
I just remember getting cold when I was hunting with Dad. back
Oh
in the day.
yeah, like back,
Freezing cold. Like, we gotta go back inside.
yeah, like if you're we have our good gear now, and back then we were using like Section 8 wick stuff, but
Oh yeah, the
like the rubber
Long Johns
uninsulated
from
boots.
Kmart.
Yeah. But like the payoff as a kid back then wasn't what it is now. Like I'll freeze my feet off if I know there's a big buck and it's a cold night and like there's a chance he's showing up. But
My
back
feet
then,
get cold now. I'm not doing it.
but when you're a kid back then, you're just out there and it's like your feet get cold and you're done. You're
cold
fucking
then.
done.
I never got cold when I was young.
I got freezing
my
cold.
feet it was my feet.
It's my feet now.
You have neuropathy now.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
That
Tested for
that gun going off reminds me of a story that Big Chris told me once when I was hunting with Big Chris and Little Chris for turkeys down at one of their farms in Southern Ohio. And Big Chris told me that when he was younger, him and his brother were hunting and they were like walking together with their guns on their backs, turkey guns or something, maybe deer guns, and they're like going through a bunch of brush. And for whatever reason, the safety wasn't on or something, and a tree branch like got the trigger when it was on the sling and like shot up into the air on one of their backs. Like, and I always think about that now when I'm going through shit. Like, they might have even had the safety on and just all the branches brushing up against the gun, hit the safety if it was a Remington.
That's why you're taught.
Right.
Always point in a safe direction.
That shit's scary.
It is. It's crazy. Anything could
It's
happen.
weird how I never used to think about that shit or care, but as I get older now, I'm like, that stuff like bothers me. I'm like cognizant of it.
Called maturing.
Yeah, I guess. I don't want to, though. Do you have any regrets or things that you wish would have been different when you were a kid? And hunting and stuff?
I don't know if it's really a regret. I wish I could just still hunt the same grounds that I could hunt when I was a kid.
Yeah, I mean, we had more of a free reign when we were kids, too. Like, people were more apt to, like, oh, you're Danny's boy? Sure. And, like, now it's not that way.
No.
Yeah, people would pay tens of thousands of dollars to sit in the tree stand where I shot my first doe.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
I wish we were able, like, one of the things I have written down here was that I wish that we were able to hunt with, like, Grandpa Jim before he passed away. Because he was, like, done with hunting by the time we got into it. And he'd let us hunt down there at their farm, him and Nancy's. And, like, I specifically remember when Jimmy shot that buck that we, like, took it in and he came out and saw it and was, like, looking at it. And he's like, where's the big one at? You know, like to us, that buck was huge. You know, 120-inch 8-point was the biggest thing in the world. And like he walks up and he's just looking at it and he's like, I thought you guys would kill a big one, you know, like making fun of it.
Right.
But like he was just a little bit too old for us to spend time in the woods with, even though he had a lot of cool guns. And he was a left-handed archery shooter. He had those recurve bows were all left-handed,
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
which would have been sweet if they were right-handed, but they don't do me no good being a left-handed
I
bow.
can't seem to see on my left eye.
Adapt.
My dad learned how to shoot left-handed later in life.
Really?
He shoots left-handed now. He shot right-handed his whole life and then realized he was left eye dominant. Now he shoots left-handed. Doesn't kill shit.
Yeah,
but
there's
shoots left-hand dominant.
There's a test if
You
you
swing a baseball
feel like a
bat
diamond
left-handed.
with your hand.
I
bring
golf
it
and
to your
bat
face.
left-handed, yeah, but I can't shoot left-handed.
No.
It's weird that it's called left-handed to me because when I'm batting as a lefty, I'm pulling with my right arm. You know what I'm saying? Like
Pulling with my left hand.
My left arm ain't
Right.
doing shit. Like
I'm good with both hands.
shooting wise,
Sometimes.
I shoot a
Just in
basketball
general,
right-handed.
just because like being an operator, like excavators are using both hands all the time.
Yeah.
And my writing with my left hand probably looks as good as writing with my right.
Me too.
Because it's bad. It's real bad.
The best hunt that I ever had was when I was a kid. Well, actually, my two best hunts ever were when I was a kid. Obviously, the Freak Daddy hunt when I was using Tim Pavlik's camera and Mike Kelling's tree stand and hunt. You know, I couldn't afford any of that stuff back then, so I was like borrowing stuff. But that Freak Daddy hunt was a good one. But my best turkey hunt was when I was with Isaac. I think I was using Tim Pavlik's camera again, and then we were hunting neighboring farm and. I was using my bow, and Isaac was using the shotgun, and we were using a film camera, like this trail camera here, like a film camera. And we called in like 5 gobblers to 20 yards, and I missed one, and he shot one. And we haven't had a turkey hunt like that since. That was 2003.
I think
I have not had a turkey hunt like that since
my dad took me
19
turkey
years
hunting
ago,
one time
21 years ago.
when I was younger, and it's right by where the outfitters that we
Yeah.
don't like has a blind right on the property line, and that's kind of where we were sitting.
They shot one there this year, Jake.
They have
Yeah.
a blind and a corn pile at
Yeah.
every field corner.
Yep.
In
So-
turkey season, too.
So did you notice, we're going to get a little technical here for a second. Do you notice, like, when it comes to that outfitter, if you click on any of their stuff on Facebook, it, like, automatically opens up to, like, a messenger?
Yeah. How can I help you?
Yeah, like-
Oh,
Fuck
yeah.
off. Is
Yeah,
what you do.
right. I'm just trying to creep on your
Now you're
shit,
like,
asshole.
Oh
Like,
shit! It got me. Got me.
I wouldn't give a fuck if he did get me.
Well, that's what happened with my dad's neighbor. He's got a Facebook like that, and I clicked on it just to look at the pictures, and it's like, "Oh, how could we help you?" I'm like, exit. I know more than you. Don't talk to me.
Old people in technology.
Yeah, basically it was. I guess that does make me feel really old.
I mean, we are.
Son of a.
Do you remember when your dad let me borrow his crossbow? That old, like,
Oh,
open
yeah.
sights.
Oh yeah. So back, I was going to mention that earlier. So I remember a time when my dad, right when the bucks started getting big behind the house, he was back there. He shot this big 9-point, and I was in the yard and I heard that thing go off.
Yeah. It was like
I'm like,
110 feet per second.
oh yeah.
It was like a medieval. It had like
A
a.
spear.
It had like a rail for the sight. It was very interesting.
He's
looking.
still got it. We'll probably hang it up in here.
It's a
too.
cool. I mean, is the string still real bad? Let's get a new string for him to shoot for fun. The limbs are probably bad though.
Let's just shoot it as is and like a roulette.
Yeah, like that one time. Like that one time you showed up here with $1,000 crossbow
Brand new bow, 1400 if you want to be specific.
and broke it on like the second shot. The limb like literally shattered.
It just collapsed.
Yeah.
There was supposed to be a little grommet in there to bend on, and
Spend
it was not
$1,400 and just don't
Get
get shit.
shit.
Yeah.
But they fixed it.
They did.
No questions asked. They literally did not ask what happened. I could have drove over top of that thing. They're just like, yeah, okay.
Well, that's good. But
So,
yeah, your
yeah.
dad's old crossbow. That thing was. He miss?
No, he killed that thing.
Oh, really?
I
Is
got
it-
a picture of him holding this big 9-point. I mean,
Is the rack up in his gun room?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was solid. I don't know. It was probably 130s.
Who killed that deer behind the house with the pistol?
some guy from the sportsman's club that we let rent out the property one year, which was a big mistake when we were kids. Son of a bitch. Yeah, we hunted here for our whole lives, and some guy shows up from the sportsman's club, kills a 140-inch 9-point like it's nothing.
With a handgun.
Yes, son of a
in the
bitch.
snow.
Yeah, I remember that.
There's a picture of it over there.
Yeah, there is a picture of it over there.
Sounds like Isaac bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, more than that. Isaac, so there in that kill shot compilation video, there's 2 pistol kills. Isaac's are in there.
Fucking Wild Bill.
Crazy. Very inaccurate weapons.
Well, I knew what he was going to turn out to be when
He jumped in the deer's back and
I'm going to heart stab this button buck that got shot in the ass by a shitty neighbor.
When was that?
That was 20 years ago. I don't know.
So there's a lot of stuff that we did as younger guys around here, like what got us into hunting, that we didn't get. You know, there's no videos of it because it was before we were recording. But Isaac was known. He was a savage. He was known as we called him the goat foot because he was like, not that he was
It was
good.
before he got called the goat foot.
Well, we called him the goat foot because he just happened to always like find the blood trails on the deer we lost because we were really bad at what we did and just were wounding deer. And like Isaac would come across these blood trails and find it. But then Isaac also had a reputation where he was heart stabbing all these wounded deer from deer
With like
drives.
this
and
tiny
shit.
little buck knife like this long.
He rode at least 3 or 4 deer.
Oh, yeah.
Put them down with a knife.
and on the fire department. He rode one, didn't he? Got hit by a car.
There was one that got hit by a car. Yeah, and the sheriffs were like, "Oh, it's gonna be an hour before we're out there," and this thing's like flopping in and out of traffic on state routes. So Isaac took his little tiny pocket knife and just. There's gonna be people that listen to this podcast, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, what the hell's wrong with these people?" But we were literally kids.
Yeah,
we were
he
literally
was a
kids
kid.
with guns and knives and trying to figure out how to kill deer.
Right.
And it is what it is. We're you know, we can acknowledge what it was and
Yeah.
move on from it, but. Yeah.
So you guys never did any youth hunts like anywhere?
So now that you brought that to backtrack, yes, we went to Salt Fork. Me and my dad and Isaac one time. Like somehow we both got a draw, or I don't remember how it worked, but
I
we
think
went.
it was kind of like an open area.
Yeah, we went to like it was like youth only area. It wasn't the
Yeah,
golf
'cause-
courses, but it was like
Well, we were next to the golf courses that one year we went.
ours wasn't. And I remember we didn't see shit for one. Like we went out there, we didn't start going out till after like it was already light out when we went out there, and we hunted till like we just hunted all day, and then just before dark we started heading back. Like we didn't have a clue what we were fucking doing. But I remember when we were there, I like split off from Dad and Isaac a little bit. Like, well, you guys are here, I'm gonna go down here. Like, well, just do my own thing. And I remember like reading magazine articles about like guys that would hunt public land in Ohio, like Salt Fork and stuff, and kill like really big bucks. Like this was like Outdoor Life magazine articles when I was like a kid, you know, back before this whole YouTube public land craze thing. So I was thinking like, oh man, one of those bucks that those guys in the magazine shoots is gonna come walking down this ravine and I'm gonna whack it. And then we didn't see shit.
Yeah.
Drove back.
We went down there, Salt Fork. The one guy that we played poker with, we got introduced through Chad Baker.
Is he the one that would throw rocks against the side of the cabin to wake people up?
Yeah, so he had the 2 cabins
Yeah,
down there.
yeah,
So there's like the adult cabin and like the kid cabin. And there is like no electricity, no running water, no nothing.
Just a shack.
Yeah, they're just shacks.
The best.
The adults were playing fucking poker and candlelight and fucking cigar smoke.
I'm gonna rip a cigar as soon as you guys leave.
But I remember going down there, and I mean, there's just deer everywhere next to the golf course, like you were saying. We went down there like the day before, and there were just people like hand feeding deer. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh no.
Yeah. So then we were walking down there. I'm just like, boom, boom. I shot 2 deer that year. Like, I had the tags. Who cares?
The deer must not be very scared of Sasquatch down there.
No.
Apparently, that's where Bigfoot roams, is Salt Fork State Park.
Never know. It could be my dad walking around down there.
Could be. You guys got anything else to add? We're at an hour. We broke the hour mark.
That's all I got. I mean, yeah.
We got to come up with what we're going to do next week, podcast wise.
This is after hours talk.
I'm not quite sure what's on the docket for next week. We do have the Breaking Point scheduled finally. We're going to get the Breaking Point guys
Brennan?
in here. Yeah, Brennan's going to be on here. August 5th, we're recording it, so it'll be the Monday after that, which is like the 11th or something. If you're still listening at this point in the podcast, the Medina County Fair is in 2 weeks. And we're going to have a booth up there, and we're going to podcast from the fair. We said we were
8th through the 3rd or something.
I'll be there every night. It's 3 to 7. We might podcast. We could podcast beforehand, depending on time. We might podcast afterwards. They close the doors for that section, the outdoor section at 7. We could get some podcasts in because there's going to be a bunch of guys up there that I want to podcast with. We might be able to record 2 or 3 podcasts that week. So I'll have all the podcast equipment will be up in the booth. Trying to get anyone up there who wants to come hang out. We're gonna have hats for sale, maybe some shirts. I don't know if Luke.
I don't think we're doing shirts.
I don't think we're getting any shirts. But Luke did a bunch of custom order hats that none of us even have yet. There is leather patch SBO hats for sale, rubber patch deer camp hats for sale. And then I got some of Luke's fishing hats, like the trout and the walleyes and stuff. Mm-hmm. They're going to be for sale. So there's going to be unique hats that haven't been for sale anywhere else for sale at the booth. I'm also going to be selling a bunch of cell cameras. I have a whole bunch of cell cameras that I'm going to be selling.
I might buy a couple first.
Yeah, whatever you want to buy, you can buy. There's 2 Tacticams in there right now if you want them.
I think that's what I need.
I'm actually donating 2 of my Spartans to the Fire Association.
That's fine. I'll just stick with Tacticam because I already got them.
But as always, there is LeakyJohnBoatCompany.com.
Yeah, so go to the website. You can get
hats,
this shirt.
stickers.
Actually, this shirt's on there. That shirt's on there. These hats are not. These are custom order hats.
Yeah, we're special.
This is,
Barstool
these are
Outdoors
only
t-shirts
for.
not
oh,
on
you
there.
got one on too.
Yeah, all 3 of us do.
They're all wearing this hat that we're
I was
wearing.
my trout camp hat.
This is actually my favorite hat.
I wear this
hat every day.
one all the time.
I love this hat.
This is my going out hat.
My God, you got your going out dudes too. You wearing Hey Dudes?
No, got the
you got Crocs on. What
I
are you
don't
wearing?
know. Someone
Crocs.
stole my
Crocs.
dudes or something.
Those are off-branders.
No, these are fancy Crocs.
Oh, those are expensive ones.
Not expensive.
I got camo Hey Dudes on.
All Crocs are expensive. $50 for rubber shoes.
I realized we went out to dinner tonight, me and my girlfriend, and I had to wear my boots because I have no other shoes besides Crocs and my work boots.
Well, like a fancy set of boots is considered going out attire.
But like, it's fucking July.
Well, you gotta wear jeans.
Yeah.
Well, you can wear
shorts
So you
and
got like
tennis shoes.
Well, then
Hey
get some dudes.
So
They hurt my knees.
So hate. Yeah, but if
I
you're
wear
just
them.
going out.
If I walk for more than 15 minutes in them, my knees the next day are
Well,
done.
don't be such a big bumbling
You're
oaf.
gonna walk from the parking lot to the restaurant.
I'm just saying that my knees are bad.
So I have a pair
Your
of
knees
white.
are not that bad.
I have a pair of white Hey Dudes that are my going out dudes, and they look nice. Because I'm not gonna
I would
buy
never
fucking.
get white.
Well, then I only wear them going out. I'm not wearing fucking boat shoes. So like, if you're a man with shorts,
No.
your options are like
You do not wear boat shoes.
right. Your options are Hey Dudes.
What's the
If
difference
you don't
between
have
boots
a-
and boat shoes?
You don't have a
The
yacht
material?
You're not wearing boat
Well,
shoes.
like boat shoes are like more of a like polyester or leather. They're just like real lightweight tennis shoes.
There's some leather in there.
Me and you are entering we can wear like New Balances.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we're middle-aged men with kids. We can fucking start wearing
know
New
what?
Balances.
No, we're taking over New Balance. We're going black Under Armours with white soles.
Well, so I wear black Under Armours at work. Like that's
All
not work.
black,
That's
or they
all
got the
black.
white
They don't have no white in them, but
Oh, well,
my black 511s
You're
and black
not
Under
there
Armours
yet.
are my work shoe.
you're not there yet.
I like the boots. You can wear a set pair of jeans in the summer and the evening.
That's what I did.
You know Isaac doesn't own a pair of jeans.
That makes sense.
Not one. Isaac Simon does not own one pair of
He
blue
wears the
jeans.
Wranglers.
He would
stretchy
look
pants.
weird in jeans.
He
now
does.
that
He
you're saying
does
it.
not
I
own
cannot picture him in jeans
because he
Like,
doesn't own a single
He would
pair
look
of
like
jeans.
the weirdest farmer I've ever seen.
But like a pair of Ariat M4 jeans, like are really nice.
But like he wears. I'm wearing jeans right now. He's
would
wearing.
What are you wearing? What jeans?
I don't know. Old.
I mean,
Wranglers, I think.
we're talking fashion, bro. What kind of jeans are you wearing?
Wranglers.
Old Wranglers, like Brett Favre, real comfortable jeans.
No, they didn't have
Stealing from
stretchy
what-
pants then.
stealing
No,
from
they're,
welfare.
they're a little bit stretchy, but not too
Gotta
stretchy.
have the stretchies.
Tyler,
They're going too stretchy.
Tyler wears stretchy American Eagles. What a fuck.
Because he has no ass.
Yeah, he's got to like cinch them things up. It's just funny. He's a farmer, right? Fucking farmer who wears stretchy American Eagle pants. It just doesn't make any sense.
He's not big enough for stretchy pants. He
He
can wear
wears
regular
like,
pants.
they're like painted on jobs, you know.
Like, I had a lot bigger legs. when
If
we
you
were
see
talking
Tyler
earlier.
Artis out in public, he will pull his pants up 3 times.
Oh,
Within
Yeah, he
an
does the
hour's
2-hand pull up in the back only.
Oh, yeah.
I love it,
Yeah,
Tyler.
my legs are too big for normal jeans. That's why I like the stretchies.
Have you tried the Ariats, the M4s?
I will never buy a pair of Ariat jeans.
Why?
I bought a pair for Nathan's wedding. That's the only pair that I
will.
My work pants, like not my like work fire department, but like the pants I wear around the farm. I have a pair of Ariat M4, like they're the brown material, like a Carhartt type.
Go to
pant.
Wrangler, they got $9 racks.
I had a pair of Carhartt pants, but they ripped up on me. Cheap.
You still go to Wrangler at the outlet mall and get some.
Is the
$9
outlet mall
racks.
still open?
Yeah.
There's
Four
like 4
stores. Under Armour, the uniform shop.
and Wrangler,
Yeah.
That's it.
and there's
And
rack room
maybe the
shoes.
Chinese restaurant.
Oh, rack room shoes.
Is there any restaurants left?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. No.
Food court's done.
Oh yeah.
So that
It's
was
like
the
a
last
ghost
place around
town.
here where you used to be able to go get that New York style pizza slice. What's that company called that made like the big flat cheese?
Oh, they
pizza?
sucked.
It
That
wasn't bad.
That was terrible.
Their China restaurant wasn't bad either.
It was pretty bad.
I never really.
Well, okay, Japan.
Then.
This motherfucker.
Yeah.
He keeps talking shit about the sushi here in America. Well, no shit. We live 1,000 miles from the ocean.
Right.
Our sushi is gonna suck here. It's not bad when you go get it.
Don't
in a
have the
fancy
same
restaurant.
exotic fish they got too.
Right.
It's all shipped in from Alaska.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Which is right across the ocean from them.
Alaska's way closer to Japan than it is fucking Ohio.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
Jesus Christ! You go to geography school or what?
No.
Well,
Yeah,
if you
so
look
how
at
did,
it on the
I
map,
got a question for you.
if you look at it on the map, it's over here and over here.
If we're in the bullshit section, we're just rambling on for the watch hours now. When you went to Japan, did you go west or east? Because we're as far
I went
away from
both.
Japan as you can get.
I went both. For every other flight besides your wedding, I went west. But for your
So
wedding,
you went San Francisco and then Tokyo?
San Diego, Seattle, Alaska, yeah.
San Diego, Seattle.
Well, like
Alaska.
I went over there like 8 times
Okay.
from the States.
For my wedding, which way did you go?
I went from Tokyo to Germany.
Did you actually like touch ground? And does it count? I don't think
I was
it
in the
counts.
airport.
Yeah,
There.
I don't think
You're
that.
there.
Ah.
I mean, you're
Can you
there.
say you went to
didn't
Germany?
I had a
explore.
schnitzel.
You had a schnitzel?
I was also in Spain for 8 months.
Well, yeah, but did you?
It's the same place.
Being in Spain is not being in Germany.
It's like Ohio and Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but they're different countries.
But then, yeah, from Germany to Tokyo, then Tokyo to Cleveland. And then I popped a kidney stone out.
Wait. You went Germany, Tokyo.
Tokyo to Germany to Toronto.
Okay, yeah.
Toronto.
You said that wrong the first
say
time.
Tokyo?
You said
Toronto.
You said Germany, Tokyo,
Yeah,
Cleveland.
thumbs off.
That don't work that way.
Toronto.
So you went to Toronto.
Yeah.
All right.
And then popped a kidney stone out at your wedding. And then flew back.
Yeah, in a dress.
Yeah.
Bleeding wiener in a dress. My wedding was a fun time.
I hate when that happens.
And then DC to Germany to Tokyo.
You came back for deer season that year.
Yeah, you did.
You were here for gun season because I shot Dad's
That
buck.
year?
Yeah.
That year?
Yeah.
I shot Dad's buck the same year that I got married. You were here for that. You're in the picture. You're literally in the fucking picture.
Yeah. Why was I home?
I don't know. But you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a quick turnaround. You're here.
I
Yeah.
don't think that was the same year.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
100% because in the video of Dad's buck, my video, like there's a portion there where me and Lindsay get married and go to
honeymoon.
Hawaii and go out west and then like come back and I shoot that buck. And you were here for the buck and the wedding.
Doesn't make any sense, but I'll allow it.
I think you had time. You
Happened.
just came back for gun season.
Yeah, you just had the time.
I don't know.
Yeah. I guess
I
it
came back a lot.
Yeah. I would too.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't leave in the first place. I haven't. I'm still here.
that's it, huh?
All right.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
52. Out.